So I'm gonna do two main things on this video. Number one, I'm going to look back and reflect on quarter three and how I performed in quarter three on my exercise plan. And second, I'm going to set the goals for quarter four. So today is October 1st and it's the first day of the month, but it's also the first day of quarter four. And so I like to look through a whole quarter. I like to look 12 weeks ahead to set my goals. I've been long time now, but this whole year I did quarter goals. And so in quarter one, talked about goals that I had for January, February, March, and each quarter I had these goals, and I would do these videos to talk about how it's going. So that's what we're gonna do here. As I reflect on quarter three, I realized that I achieved all four of my goals. The goals were for running. I had to run a certain distance for the entire quarter. 84 miles of running would become 28 miles each month, and I did that successfully. The second goal that I had was for legs, and it was also a stamina goal. So it was about volume. It was about doing a certain number of reps, and it was such a big number, 4,800 for the entire quarter, and each month that would be 1,600 reps of legs. Includes squats, lunges, calf raises. Any workouts that are for legs would count as reps towards that goal. And then the third goal I had was for calves. I wanted to grow my calves to a certain size, right? It's a physique goal. I want my body to have a certain aesthetic. I've always had chicken legs, so it's always been a challenge for me. My calves don't grow as easy as other parts of my body. And the goal was to grow another quarter inch from 15 inches on my calves to 15.25 inches. And I was able to do it over quarter three. Now, I thought I was gonna be way over the goal, but I wasn't. I just made it. So there's more to do. There's more to reflect when it comes to that goal. And so in a second, I'm going to explain the challenges that I've experienced with these goals. I'm going to share the resolutions after reflecting on those challenges. And so here's what I do. I start with what's going well. I hit all of my goals. Number one was run. Number two is legs. Number three is calves. And number four, I had a core goal. And my goal was just to do something for the core every single day, a daily core, right? Having this consistency and doing it as frequent as every day. And so I achieved all of these goals, right? One of the biggest challenges I faced was that because I was focused on these four goals, I did really well in those areas of my exercise, but other parts of my exercise lost some consistency. And that's normal, right? But I need to focus on what matters most and make sure that I become consistent with that. I need to find the frequency that makes the correct amount of impact. So, for example, if I'm having a challenge growing my calves, I need to be able to set goals and to set objectives that are going to give me the results that I want. And that can be kind of challenging to figure out what workout routine is going to give me the results I want. But after reflecting about what I want from my athleticism, what do I want from my training? I want mostly performance-based things that I know I have to run, I have to work on legs, and I have to work on core. Those are for sure. And I want to grow my calf, so I have to put a little bit extra attention on it, which means I have to make a goal of it, all on its own. But if I have my focus on those four things, I know I'll do well on them. If I have my focus spread too thin and I'm trying to do too many things, I might not be making as much progress on some of them that I would like to. For example, my calves. I want to make more progress on my calves. If I focus on all these other different things, then maybe I won't move as fast with calves as I would like to. Although my progress with calves is slower than I would like it to be, it's possible I'm getting better in all these other areas. So that's one of the biggest challenges, is focusing on the 4 goals means I don't focus as much on other things when it comes to fitness and health and I mean exercise and stuff like that. But I have some specific challenges for the goals that I did set for myself. When it came to doing core on a daily basis, the biggest challenge I found was, the frequency's so high. After a few days of doing that, I was already tired. I mean, the entire first month, I was sore in core every day. I felt more tired for all of my exercises because I was doing core every day, that it felt like when I needed to use the core for my other exercises, it was already tired. So I couldn't perform my other exercises as well through all of July. And you could kind of see my performance changed in my other exercises because of it. You can see by what I was tracking, what I was writing down. But the solution is to now just do a diverse sets of core, because after July, I had built up the stamina to continue to do core every single day. So in August, I was flying by. I didn't feel that soreness as much anymore, but I did notice that on some days I wanted to apply a higher intensity for core. On some days I had the energy, I had the strength in my core to apply some extra intensity. Now, what I want to make sure of that I'm focused on now moving forward is that I include all the right types of core exercises, meaning there's different ways to exercise your core. And we know the core includes like the abs, the abdomen. So I need to make sure I'm exercising all the different parts of the abs. They got the lower abs, these middle abs, they got the obliques and the lower abs. There's different ways to work the core, and the core also includes a lot of the hip muscles and the lower back and the butt. And so really understanding different ways to exercise the core and making sure I have a diverse set. I have diverse sets, pretty much is what I'm trying to say. And I'm stretching with those exercises. So now my goal moving forward should be something where I'm doing core every day, but I'm also being specific every day when I'm trying to do the exercise in the morning. So every day when I wake up in the morning, I start doing some core exercise, I start stretching, and I need to have a little routine that I do on a daily basis that includes both of those things. I have also a challenge when it comes to growing my calves. And I know I did a video, I think it was quarter 2, where I was reflecting on this, and I did some research and I was sharing what I was learning from my research. So in my research, what I learned was 3 main ways for muscle growth. Number 1 main way for muscle growth is that you have mechanical tension, right? And that's by putting on loads, heavier loads. So typically you go higher in weight, heavier weight that you're lifting, you're causing more mechanical tension to your muscles. Your muscle wants to grow as a result of that. There's another way called metabolic stress, which is mostly like when you do high reps or when you're already tired and then you still go for more, even if it's not high rep, but it's maybe a strength set, doing low reps, but it's a heavier load. And you're not doing that heavy load for too much or anything. It's just that you've already been tired. It feels a lot heavier. And being in those positions is what puts you in hypertrophy. And we know that hypertrophy is how you grow muscles. So hypertrophy happens because you're throwing the muscle off of what it's used to. So it has to be hard. It has to hurt when it's happening. And what we see is that mechanical tension puts your body in hypertrophy, but mechanical tension, by putting heavier and heavier loads, gives you strength. And as you get stronger, you move out of hypertrophy for a weight load that used to put you in hypertrophy. So hypertrophy is not always best achieved by going higher and higher, but instead by maybe changing the load that you use so that you get a mix of metabolic stress on your muscles by going higher in reps and getting tired, right? Or having low energy and being on a calorie deficit and working out a certain muscle. And having a mix between that metabolic stress and the mechanical tension of having heavier and heavier loads. So this means that your routine, like say for my calves, right? I'm trying to get my calves bigger. The challenge is they're so slow. What would I do to fix that? Well, I need more hypertrophy process in the calves. How do I achieve that? Ultimately, right? People use muscle damage and the feeling of feeling sore and, oh, I can't go anymore, going till failure. Those things as signs of you've been hitting hypertrophy, right? So if you have muscle damage, you work out till muscle failure, yeah, you probably hit hypertrophy. However, the downside to that, the reason why I don't want to shoot for muscle damage every time as a way to cause hypertrophy is because when I cause muscle damage to my calves today, it means that they're not going to be able to perform tomorrow. And the kind of exercise I like to do is always on my feet, always making sure that I have the agility and the ability to move fast, like footwork and stuff like that. So I don't want to have muscle damage all the time. Muscle damage as my target to make sure I'm hitting hypertrophy is only every once in a while when I put extreme intensity up. And so what I really want to do is make sure that I'm working out on metabolic stress, and I do have a lot of exercise on my calves, but I think I need more mechanical tension, more intensity on the calf workouts. When it comes to the weight load, I do need to use bigger loads, and I need to keep the frequency up. So I've noticed that this last month in September, the frequency dropped for my calves exercises. So I know I got to keep that up. But all this to say, right, all this reflection, all this about the research that I was about hypertrophy, all that, right? Just to show you that, hey, I'm having a challenge. And really this challenge comes from genetics, because that's my genes, where my legs don't grow as much. They don't stack on any fat. They don't stack on muscle as easy as other parts of my body. And I'm trying to, battle against that tendency because I have a goal to get them bigger. So the resolution is to pay more attention to how I'm putting my calves in hypertrophy. Pay more attention, more specifically with balancing the metabolic stress that I put on my calves with the mechanical tension. Okay? The main thing I got to do that is to say, are my calves tired? Then I know I'm having metabolic stress on the calves, and I know I'm hitting muscle damage through that. Hence hypertrophy. If I'm have the energy in my calves and they don't feel so tired, can I please increase the intensity of an exercise by increasing weight load? Now, this is the kind of thinking I have to have in quarter 4 when it comes to calves. And when it comes to my legs, I felt that I was super exhausted by training the legs all the time and shooting for a high rep goal. My legs were always tired. And it's cool, but like I explained earlier, my legs are tired and I like to do a lot of exercise on my legs with the boxing and stuff. It means that I'm not going to have an ineffective workout on another day. I want to have more strength in my legs, and I do want to grow the muscles. But in order to get more strength, right, I have to have heavier loads. So I have to have the energy to do that. So my resolution for legs is to lower the reps a little bit in order to include some sets where I do use weight, and they're called strength sets. They're going to be very low rep. They're going to be like 5 reps at the most. But by doing a heavier load and low rep, then I can more work on the strength and not, so much of just trying to keep the stamina up. I have the stamina. Prove it. That's why I have these goals, high volume goals. So considering these things, I'm able to set my goals for quarter 4. I'm able to see that I do 28 miles a month healthy. And so 28 miles a month for the 3 months would mean that there's 84 miles for the quarter. I'm gonna set my goal for quarter 4 is 85 miles. Yeah, just an extra mile. What does that mean? That means that each month it's 28 miles that I must do. And then somewhere I must mix in an extra mile. Each month I go a little extra. One of the months I do the extra mile, whatever. It just has to end up that I do 85 between now and the end of the year. When it comes to legs, I'm gonna lower the reps, right? So I'm going down from 48. So I'm going down to 4,500, where we're 4,500 reps. It's 1,500 reps per month. So I have to do 1,500 reps of legs, whether squats, lunges, calves, things like that for the legs. I'm going to set my goal for my calves to grow up to 15 and a half. In the next 3 months, I want to try to grow another 1/4 inch. And then I'm gonna add a fourth goal. I'm gonna add this, keep the fourth goal with the core daily. I'm gonna get more specific with what I'm doing each day to make sure I have sets of various diverse core exercises as well as stretches. And I'm not gonna add any more goals than that, just the 4, because I wanna make sure that I focus on progress with those before I worry too much about anything else. I think in addition though, I'm gonna discuss what I would wanna add. In addition to these 4 goals, I would probably add a goal for deadlifts. I wanna work on strength for deadlifts, but I don't know. I don't know if I should set that. There's other things I do, there's boxing. Setting goals for how much I'm putting into boxing. And working out my back, working out shoulders, arms, or anything like that. But before I really get as strict on myself with that stuff, like I'm already strict on this stuff and I feel like I just want to keep going. I want to make more progress with it. I track everything I do. So whether it's these goals I'm sharing, the 4, or whether it's the other stuff, I'm tracking all of it. So we'll be able to see what's been going on with that stuff, but I'm not so strict on myself with it. The 4 goals is the most important. Die hard. If it's the last day and I gotta go run my miles, I fucking get out there and I run. Whatever time it is, 9 p.m., 10 p.m. That's how we get it done. So for me, it's real important that I take this time to reflect. I always do it on my own. I keep looking down because I have my notes right there. So I go through and I ask myself, you know, how is this going? What are my challenges? Where am I at with my goals? How many more do I need this week? And I'm constantly having that with myself, writing things down. So I do this for my own benefit, and I'm always going to continue doing this as I've been. But I've started doing these videos and sharing the videos for at least like this whole year I was doing them. And last year I tried to do some videos, wasn't that good at it. This year the good videos, right, have happened for quarter 1, 2, 3, and now this is the video for quarter 4. What happens next is I do a progress update. So today's October, start of quarter 4. Then we're gonna see November. We're gonna be in the middle. December is the last month. So sometime in November, I'll probably do a progress update. What I'd like to do is see how far am I in the quarter? Am I 50% of the way in the quarter? If I'm halfway through the quarter, right smack in the middle of November, then that means I should be halfway through to my goals, right? So if I look at all my goals, what they are for the whole quarter, to, you know, cut it down to half, it should match up. You know, this is what I'm trying to do in the progress update. Is match up how far am I along on my goals according to how far along in the quarter we are.